hugely successful lawyer, I would say you are a failure. Because if you are only working for money, then it's not worth it. So you have to find time for yourself. You must go out for walks, must exercise, maybe take a game. I play, even on working days, Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday, 9-hole golf in the morning. In summer, I am on the golf course at 5:15, in winter at 6:30. I come back, rush back, have my shower, take a breakfast, and I'm in office in winter by 9:15, in summer by 8:30. But I would never miss my golf game for anything, even if I am extremely heavy. Extreme.
What time you sleep then?
Not before 11, 11:30. Never before 11, 11:30. You have to adjust yourself. But what I am really requesting you is that try and make yourself into fuller personality with other passions in life. Reading, it's the best companion. Music, I mean, go to classical music programs, listen to music at home and everywhere. And, so do everything. If you confine yourself to just law, I tell you, it will not help you. 5, 10, 20 years down the road, you will yourself think that what did I do ultimately? I was in court from morning to evening, that's all. I couldn't do anything more. Never miss anything. Best times with your family, never be away from it. Whether it's a birthday, whether it's an anniversary, or whether it's any remembrance from parents, every time you have to be with the family. And if you can't do that just because you are working, then I think you don't know. Time management is very crucial. Do not allow time to become your master. Make time your slave. And you will make time your slave if you learn the art of getting up at 5 in the morning. If you get up beyond that, gone are those days in small cities where lawyers used to work till 11 or 12 or 1 o'clock in the night. Late Mr. Ashok Sen would always have conferences after 10 o'clock. But those were very different times. Today times are different. This 2 hours of morning or 3 hours of morning period is so beautiful for doing anything. Reading, listening to bhajans, or listening to music, or even talking to your wife or your parents. It's something which is, so I would strongly say that please make your life really meaningful. Do not be concentrating just on, everybody loves work, who doesn't love? As I said earlier, I also love work and I love money. But you must know how to balance it. If you don't know how to balance it, then there is a serious problem. You will have health issues with passage of time. You will have problems in the family. You will have problems with the friends who will say, my friend is never available. Pata nahi, just because he thinks he is a successful lawyer, he doesn't want to come to my birthday party also. No, never do that. That's not done. So, I mean, today there are many times I go just for dinner to Ahmedabad. Take the evening flight, my old friends for 40 years, take the flight, have dinner, early morning flights, 6 o'clock I take and I'm in office by 8:30. But I never miss that chance. Because this is what we have grown up with. They are ultimately our pillars for happiness. And if you ignore them, I can assure you, they will not forgive you in the long run. So what I really respectfully urge you is this, that look at everything in totality. Look at everything from various angles, different angles. Success will automatically come. And that success will make you feel so much, proud of yourself, so much, at ease with yourself, so much at peace with yourself, that it will be very different from the success which many successful lawyers have at the bar, whose only aim is work and money. And you know many of them. So I need not dilate on that. So this is what I really feel, that, as I said earlier, each one of you is gifted. Please try and exploit those gifts as best as you can. The ball is in your hands. Nobody else is going to help you. So good luck to all of you. Thank you very much.
President sir, this is exactly how we envisaged and expected it to be. Now I request Sukumar Padjoshi sir, who's the senior executive member, and we have subcommittees. So he's the chairperson of the subcommittee for continuing, professional excellence for young lawyers. So we welcome him for sharing some thoughts with us on the same lines.
Hello. Hello, friends. This is quite an honor that alongside a legend, in fact, I've seen him for last about 30 years. And his commitment, his discipline, in fact, is inspiring. And it's quite a privilege alongside him to address you, in fact, in this or sharing my experience. Whatever he said is extremely correct, living life in totality. I'll not touch upon any of those things which he has said and you have probably internalized by now. I just want to remind you why you all have come from law schools to the profession. You had various choices, If you wanted it as a vocation alone, probably you would have joined some law office, some legal counsel with a multinational, something like that, So when you come here as a profession, your goals are quite different. Probably we come with a liability, like an obligation to serve. Because it's quite uncertain whether you'll be able to earn, whether you'll be able to live a decent life. You don't know anything. Whereas joining a job somewhere else, yes, at the end of the month you get 10,000, 20,000 or 10 lakhs, right? You know your life pattern, you have a promotion prospects, etc. No such assurances here. So therefore, when you enter, it's all your obligations, your duty. So therefore, I'll not ask you what are your expectations from this profession, but I can tell you what the society and the profession expects from you. One thing for sure is that the civilization all through has run because of the lawyers. And once you join the highest court of the land, it's very clear that you want to be part of running this civilization. And for that, in fact, there cannot be, like Sir said, there cannot be any shortcut, any immoral, unethical route. Since you are taking responsibility for running the civilization, may it be before the court, may it be before advising somebody to file a suit or take an action, you have to. And now, because a lot depends on you. The people in general from the society, they are not guided by their conscience, they are guided by the lawyers. They will not listen to their conscience that I should not do this. If the lawyer says you do it, nothing will happen. So therefore, you have a greater responsibility. This is all said, but once you enter this, there are two things. There is learning and there is earning, right? So you have to balance both. For learning, law schools, everything the laws you have learnt, like Sir said, you have to read variety of things, right? And it is never adequate. Never adequate. Same is earning, it's never adequate at any point. For learning, you have to devise your own tools. And you have to make that also a source, for your earning in rightful means. Like many of us who have come, in fact, I was a first generation lawyer in Delhi. In fact, leaving many other things, lucrative or something, I came to this profession in 1986. With determination, you keep on working basically. In fact, initial years, I started independent practice very early. I joined a law office for about 6 months only to be trained totally. I would sit in the court inside, right? Any important matter, I will follow it throughout, volunteer myself that I can assist in this. So that's for your learning also. You say that not necessarily a client will have to bring an action to be presented by you, right? So you yourself can create your own work. Now the society, needs you. Initial years you are free relatively from your all professional engagements by named clients, right? Very variety of problems. Now it's an era of internet. You can collect your documents with a view to make a change, contribute to the social change, right? So there are various issues. You do that. Consult any senior in the bar, right? That's how this is what on environment, on social issues, this is my work. I want to go ahead. Take guidance, take it to the court. You can do yourself, you can get it done, but that's your experience and learning. If you know why you have come to the profession and didn't go to a multinational joining, then you get your answers, which is your route. You'll have to devise. Nobody can teach you. The classrooms are over. Now nobody can teach you. You have to what you want to do, right? If you want to do for like only commercial practice, no harm. You watch somebody who is in need, you can contribute in terms of drafting, but you will have to first work. You will have to be equipped. You have to every day sharpen your tools. You can't say that since I don't have a brief, I don't have to read. There is nothing like that. The day you join, you are in the profession, whether you have a case or no case. The timings, like sir said, have to be your servants, and provided you have utilized it, they will obey you. If you are not in touch with them, time will not obey you. So this is what you have to do that. Second, on facts also, like sir said, you should be very ready with facts. But since we are addressing to the junior lawyers also, they are not in the stage of reading the briefs. They are in the stage of preparing the briefs, right? So your first interaction is with your clients, right? Somebody comes to you or some issues comes to you. So you have to examine that. Very simple. You may not be knowing the best of law. Very simple. You have to ask, use your English. Why, what, where, whom. You put him. He will give you the facts, right? Very simple, right? You talk to him endlessly. Whatever he says, you listen to him. Advise him whether he should go ahead or not. Whether, even if the case is technically sound, also tell him that these are the difficulties, you should not go for this reason, or you should go. Once you go, then you prepare that. And you should be very convinced with your draft so that the judge can understand something, right? If you yourself is not convinced and you say whatever the client has said, you jot down, then how will you believe that the judge has not spoken to the client, so he will not understand, right? Or you go to a senior, this senior will have difficulty. So it is your own way, self-learning basically, and the client teaches you many things. Most of the part, law you will do research, you will find out and things like that, but from the facts only, right? And I will not take a lot of time because we have a meeting also and sir is busy, and we want that you should benefit, you should in fact take benefit of sir's presence, ask questions, what difficulties you are facing, where you stand, what are the areas the bar can in fact contribute, right? And while all these things, you keep it in mind that you have duty to everybody, to the court, to your client, to the society, to your fellow lawyers. That's most important because this is a family, large family. You should never attempt to antagonize another lawyer, come whatever may. If you have to win his heart. It's not always that you can win the hearts of the judge or the client, but with whom you have to run the life, you have to win their hearts. And it will be a very pleasurable journey if you like each other, and either they are seniors, they are colleagues, they are friends, they are juniors, we have to be courteous to each other. And like sir said, ethics, you have to, the code of conduct in fact is devised by others also, but you have to make your own and you have to strongly follow that. That's all. Please let's interact. In fact, our friends had not introduced themselves. Those who have come late, just quickly. Acha, then all right, let's interact.
Sir, can I just ask a question?
Please.
The stress was so much, Sir President sir also said, the stress was so much on innovation and change. Like, what about drafting, sir? I mean, for last 10, 12 years, what I have been seeing the draft, we are copying the same thing and there's so much of repetition in the drafting. So can we do something about it? And I have a request, can we have a class on drafting also? If the experts and seniors can guide us something about that.
Sir, would you like to take this?
Submission on that word drafting. It is my humble opinion, very humble. In my
Please feel free to say anything here.
that here we are mainly dealing with Article 136. We really need to get the nuances of the drafting right. A young boy like me should always be willing to go even to the consumer forum, to the tribunal. Like I go, I'm not saying I do, and in the district courts. There comes the ingenuity that a lawyer has to face, the difficulty that a lawyer has to face. Because at Supreme Court level, we are getting more or less the brief. The facts are there. We just have to put it in. I am not undermining the job of an AUR or a lawyer sitting at the Supreme Court.
My own view is, I mean, I don't mean any disrespect, but my own view is that this court should someday will have to think seriously to formulate a policy and encourage only those lawyers who have spent 10 years in the subordinate or the high courts to come to the Supreme Court. You just can't expect a graduate straight to land up in the Supreme Court next day. He doesn't know anything about it, and we are doing disservice to him, and we are doing disservice to the institution. But it's an extremely ticklish matter. I don't know how many people will agree, because people think that because we are a unified bar, people think that we can practice in any and every court. But every one of the lawyers who's here, for example, who's successful, you will see, barring exceptions, they have all spent 10 to 15 years in the subordinate courts or the high courts before even jumping. So, I mean, the drafting therefore is so crucial, and it can only be learnt if you draft the original suits or if you draft the original writ petitions. Unless you do that, or the written statements and the counter affidavits in high court. Here, I think drafting is not much of an opportunity. So, it's a big challenge, and I don't know how one can overcome. There is no shortcut to it. There is no shortcut to it.
No, but then there's so much of repetition of the same line and same thing again and again.
Well, you can always make it innovative, because in every fact that you get, you have to know the question of law involved, and you have to begin your draft with a question of law, and then present the facts in such a way that judge is able to understand your viewpoint immediately. Unfortunately, so it can never be the same. It has to be different. But yes, look at our list of dates. They are the worst list of dates that are ever prepared. I don't think we ever did so in High Court. In fact, our High Court never had list of dates to be given. The writ petition was containing in first 3 paragraphs or 5 paragraphs facts with sub-paragraphs, and that's how we would do it. So, I mean, it's a tough job.
Sir, in fact, in list of dates, it's actually not advocates who are drafting the list of dates. How the office registry says, accordingly we are drafting the list of dates. Otherwise, the office objection will come.
Yeah, but you can overcome it by making it. Yeah. But I feel that we can really learn from each other. Each one of you must take an opportunity to follow, some of the seniors whom you really admire, and see their court craft, see their presentation, see their, argument, see how they, really look at a matter. All that is very important. So when you have spare time, you should never waste it in the canteen. You should always go to the court and listen to the lawyers, or go to the courts where judges are really intellectually every judge is not the same. There are some who are outside